For centuries, humans have been growing alongside our botanical brethren. Our histories have mixed and mingled to bring us modern medical marvels, faded folklore, and everything in between. Of course, in order to understand the plant, we have to start with its roots. I'm M. Grebner-Gaddis, and this is Rooted. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Rooted. This week, we're continuing on with our spring flower theme, with a plant you've likely seen popping up more and more now that most of us are past our final frost date, petunias. Petunias are a popular fluted flower that come in a variety of colors. They're popular in landscapes and hanging baskets due to their delicate-looking but fairly heat-resistant blooms. They like to be well-watered and in nutrient-rich soil so they can really focus on keeping those blooms vibrant. As a member of the Solanaceae or nightshade family, petunias have badass cousins like henbane, datura, and of course, belladonna. But unlike those batty botanicals, petunias aren't poisonous. These guys are on the smaller side, with most only getting about 4 inches tall with about a 2-foot spread in the ground. They are annuals, but do reseed easily, so it's not unheard of to see them popping up in the same spots each year. Just like a ton of other popular landscape plants, petunias have been hybridized to heck, coming in pretty much any color or growth structure you can imagine. Some are really trumpety, others are floppy with lots of petals, and one that was just approved for sale here in the US last year is even bioluminescent. That variety specifically is known as firefly, and it was actually created by splicing in genes from a bioluminescent mushroom. I'll likely dive into that on another episode, or in a Lightly Rooted, but these kinds of products are popping up all over the place recently, so I'm sure we'll be talking about them more in depth soon. While petunias could someday replace your nightlight, it's not the only way they've been used to ward off monsters. According to the ancient Incans, the smell of petunias was so strong and sweet that they were able to ward off underground malicious spirits. Their scent was so powerful, in fact, that the Incas would even collect a group of buds and turn them into a powerful elixir. Unfortunately, I couldn't find out more on what kind of drink they made, but I'm sure it was delightful and refreshing, and very good at keeping evil spirits at bay. The petunias the Incas used in their mocktails were a little different than the ones we're all ogling at in nurseries today. Those varieties really didn't come out until the early 1900s, when German and Japanese botanists developed the varieties we know and love today. And while Europe has been obsessed with them since about the 1880s, petunias didn't really hit their it-girl status here in the US until the nursery boom in the 1950s, when gardening became more accessible to way more people. And you no longer had to start all of your plants from seeds or cuttings from people around you. Since then, petunias have been constantly reimagined and remixed in pretty much every way imaginable. In food, petunias have always been popular as a topper in salads and garnish for drinks, but now they're even being used to improve the artificial cherry flavor. This all started in the Purdue Food Science Research Lab, where scientists discovered that petunias actually contain benzaldehyde, the chemical used to recreate that iconic cherry almond scent we so often see in soda and candy. This chemical is important to food scientists as it's complicated and very expensive to replicate in the lab. It's also what a lot of plants use to attract pollinators, so while we know a lot of plants can make it, it was really hard for them to pin down exactly which ones did and what exactly was going on there. That is, until they brought in petunias. Now that they know they contain the compound, they're working on finding a way to extract it and transfer it into yeast, which would bring the cost of making these flavorings way down. If that's not cool enough for you, petunias were also used to treat a slew of respiratory ailments. Often they were brewed into a tea, where their anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties were believed to help people breathe just a little bit easier. Next time you see one of these fancy florals in the world, I hope you'll take a second to say hello and give it a good sniff to keep the monsters at bay. I know this was a shorter one, but we have lots of exciting things coming, and I'm thrilled to share those all with you soon. Until then, thanks so much for supporting me, this show, and this weird little corner of the internet. I'm really excited to keep making some new things for you guys and bring back a few of the old formats we've moved away from. See you then! Until next time, be kind to yourselves, be kind to the earth, and just like a plant, drink your water. If you liked the show, please subscribe and consider leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at rooted.pod. We're finally updating regularly on YouTube at rooted.podcast, and you can check out our website, rootedpod.com, for transcripts, updates, merch, and so much more. The show is written, produced, and hosted by me. I'm Grebner Gaddis, edited by Kat Friend of Friend Diagram, and our theme music was written and produced by Eric Cluxon. Rooted is a Henbane Media LLC production.